prostate cancer. All right, let's get on to the tweets. We're like only an hour into the stream so far. And I've got more tweets than I normally do as well.
Oh, dear. Were you like, I'm going to bring a bunch of tweets because we're not going to have news, and then I went, but there's news?
No, what happened was I started collecting tweets at home, and then while my daughter was in her group therapy thing, I went and when she's doing that, I'll like go to Starbucks and I'll work, and it's like my script is mostly done for the week, so like tomorrow's going to be a recording day, so I was collecting tweets for today, but I didn't remember how many I got before. So it just kind of piled up. So Arab Spring Enjoyer says, leftism is just a wing of fascism, and Marxism was derived from anti-Semitism. There's a Portuguese paper that detailed this.
One Portuguese paper.
Yeah, so like I thought Marxism was derived from the writings of Karl Marx. I don't think he was terribly anti-Semitic, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he was, like, given the time frame that he lived in.
I mean, it would have also been like, this is the same thing as when they go like, and like, Charles Darwin was a racist.
Yeah, okay, but like and a German who lived in the 1800s being anti-Semitic, like, yeah, I'll grant that probably was a thing.
Yeah, but it's just like also going like leftism is a form of fascism, or is just a wing of fascism.
Well, this is the horseshoe theory, where like if you go far enough left, it becomes indistinguishable from the right because they go all the way through the horseshoe and meet in the middle.
Well, then what you do is you look at which groups are propped up and which ones are oppressed under these. When you have more left-wing people, a lot of times bigots get oppressed and minorities get propped up. Yeah, that's definitely fascism, totally.
So, Sen Shinny German Visitor says Mark was an anti-Semite. Okay.
Again, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that at all.
But
this might be a problem if we like worshipped Marx as some sort of infallible idol.
Like, what are you talking about?
He wrote some good stuff. He also wrote some bad stuff.
I keep a copy of Capital just like in the same shock that I do things with when I'm alone.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a paper cut doing it though.
And Blade Runner says, I have encountered self-proclaimed leftists who had no trouble acting like fascists. Yeah,
Yeah.
There are certain tactics that are similar when you go far enough left and far enough right. Like, I will admit that, but like, I don't know. I feel like communism as it was practiced in the 20th century was not really a leftist thing. Like, on the surface, they said they were about like people's rights and helping people and everything like that. But like, no, it was just like Stalin was a power hungry monster that like Lenin on his deathbed, like, had a dictation taken saying that Stalin should be removed from power because he's too dangerous because of how bloodthirsty and power hungry he is. I mean, of course, while Lenin was alive, he had no problem using Stalin's power hungriness and bloodthirstiness to his own ends. But
that's kind of the same thing with like if you look at Nazi Germany, one of the talking points that the Nazis used for the longest time is they used leftist talking points. They were the National Socialist Party for the longest time, in more than just name. The thing is that they would grab workers and they would tell workers, hey, there is an elite class that is oppressing you. But instead of pointing to, I don't know, a state-controlled body or trying to point to actual elites, they just pointed to random Jewish people. Ah, yes, the Jews are the bankers, therefore you need to be racist against the Jewish people. Ignoring the fact that German law...
a book written by Henry Ford.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Problem of the American Jew? I believe that was the Henry Ford
Something
book,
like
right?
That. I don't remember. The International Jew. The International
Jew. Ignoring the fact that the stereotype of Jewish people being bankers, a lot of it came about because in Germany, as anti-Semitism was ramping up, that was one of the few jobs they were allowed to hold. So it became a self-fulfilling prophecy of a stereotype. But again, that is people having to ignore a lot of historical context. So what you have is a bunch of people who are using leftist language and using it to take a bunch of workers and ally them against a common enemy, but the common enemy is a faux enemy. It's, Jews. So when somebody goes like, hey, that is leftism, I'm like, well, it's the trappings of leftism, sure. It's a lot of the rhetoric of leftism, because quite frankly, leftist rhetoric tends to be more popular in its own vacuums, ignoring the fact that the end result was a very right-wing totalitarian regime. You have to ignore the entire context.
Yeah.
You have to also ignore the Night of Long Knives, where all the leftists were killed. But
yeah,
history.
History is more complicated than most people want you to believe. And that's true for like political people on both the left and the right. That's true for Christian apologists who want you to believe that the Bible is just like kind of written down as the Bible.
It was all one book all the time. I was there.
Yeah. All right. Ian Miles Chong says, name someone who's more quotable than Elon Musk right now. Bet you can't. Mark Twain, Albert Einstein. Let's see, someone who's alive today.
Danny DeVito.
Phil Plait. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I kind of see what he's getting at, is that like people are always, Neuromptopus Saul says XKCD's author. That's Randall Munro. Yeah, he's very quotable.
Wait, C.S. Lewis?
Shakespeare. Yeah, C.S. Lewis as well, actually. Like if you mean someone who's living now, like basically any actor, like I don't know. So the thing is, Elon Musk is like in the news all the time. Like I see headlines about Elon Musk all the time. I actually can't think of a single Elon Musk quote. Like I don't know what the guy says.
I can't either, and I literally covered some of his quotes today on stream, and I can't remember them. I think it was him talking about the stuff with Twitter in Turkey today.
Corey Fowler says Shakespeare, to be or not to be, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
I bite my thumb at you.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? Obi-Wan Kenobi, hello there.
If I have to hear another Shakespeare quote, my quote's going to be, oh, happy dagger.
I remember in grade 9 when I learned that stones meant testicles. I thought that was so funny. Because, like, I was grade 9. It was funny to me.
Name someone more quotable than Elon Musk. I have one. Easy. Brock from Pokemon. Every single line out of his mouth in season 1 is some kind of pun, and it's amazing. I turned this frying pan into a drying pan, as he holds it over his head as an umbrella.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. I forgot. There's a movie called Miracle Man, and there's a scene in which the guy that plays it's like a modern, like if Jesus Christ was a modern day guy named like Jesse Carter or something, like someone with a not Jesus Christ name, but his initials are still JC. And one of the direct quotes from the movie is he says, as a gift to you, prostate cancer. But he's like healing the guy's prostate cancer. But like he actually says like prostate cancer, go. And it's like you're using prostate cancer as a Pokemon. And I meant to grab that so that I could just play that one clip, but I forgot.
I choose you.
Oh, how have we not mentioned Monty Python yet? Like, how many people have all of their movies like memorized?
Jesus. Oh, actually, you know what? Then Ash from Evil Dead.
Sure. Yeah, lots of people more quotable than Elon Musk. Can't think of a single quote from Elon Musk, but I can think of a lot of quotes from a lot of other people. Oh, did you see this?
Oh my God. I saw when when this got posted.
I don't know if this is real, and I don't care. It's just hilarious.
Cross to bear.
Cross to bear. Like if that's not overpriced, like do you remember his $500 t-shirts that was like done in Microsoft Paint, that was like an oval with a cloud in it, and it was like $500 for that?
All I can say is this looks like something that needs to be one of my models.
Lubelar says holy hand grenade of Antioch.
We're talking about African or European quotes.
Oh my god, did you see there was a video someone did of like when they brought out the orb for King Charles at his coronation, they like dubbed in the holy hand grenade music. Like as he's bringing it, Pie Domine.
Jesus.
It was amazing because that is like that's what the holy hand grenade was based on.
This outfit. The real question is, if somebody walked outside wearing this outfit, would you find it attractive, or would you just ask yourself a lot of questions?
I mean, I'm considering getting it for my partner, so
Okay, so the latter. Got it.
like as long as it's
Understood.
not like $500, which it probably is.
I mean, you can get somebody to make it for cheaper, I'm sure.
It's a tax deduction if I take pictures of her and put it on Twitter. She will not agree to that. She will not agree to that.
God damn it!
Okay, moving on. I thought this was hilarious. So, Snow, who's got the trans flag in their thing, says, "Do you keep your cat in your gaming PC?" With a picture of a
Yes.
cat in a gaming PC, and that's adorable. And this person says, "Animal abuse. What the fuck? This cat can't breathe. Of course, it's a transgender executing their cat and posting it on Twitter. What the fuck?"
Imagine,
Okay, relax,
imagine being
relax.
a crypto bro. The guy's name is ETH Pledge. He's
Yeah.
a crypto bro.
Yeah, obviously.
Imagine being a crypto bro and not understanding how ventilating a fucking PC works.
I know, right? Like, don't they need to keep their graphics cards nice and cool? Or like recognizing that there's 0 fans in this PC and there's no heatsink on the CPU, so like you turn this PC on within minutes, it's gonna shut itself down for to like.
And probably not be able to turn on again.
Well, not necessarily. Not unless it's an AMD chip with a Asus board, because they're all blowing up right now. Because Asus is like, I guess they released a BIOS that released like it didn't properly control the voltage or something for the CPU, and it's causing the CPUs to actually like burn themselves through. Whatever, but like you can like. That's the thing, but like if you know anything about PCs, you know that PC enthusiasts are very excited about ventilation. We want there to be lots of airflow in the PC. So if the cat can't breathe in there and it's actually going to like do any harm to the cat by putting them in there, then your PC is not adequately ventilated and you need to redo it.
Yep.
So Blade Runner says that that PC has no CPU, no graphics card, no power supply. It's got a CPU. It doesn't have a heatsink on the CPU, so that will overheat immediately.
Does it
and
even
shut
have
it back
RAM?
down.
I can't tell if those are sticks or slots.
I'm pretty sure those are sticks, so it does have RAM. I don't know. Like there might be a power supply under this side of the. Actually, no. Yeah, it's ventilated for the power supply, and I think that it's not got one, so the power supply is not even in it. But like there's no plugs from the power supply plugged into the motherboard anyway. And yeah, no graphics card. Depending on your CPU, like if you're using the integrated graphics, then sure. But like, I don't know. This case is a bit overkill for some. Like, this is the kind of case an enthusiast would get. An enthusiast would not rely on integrated graphics. Although, with the price of graphics cards nowadays, sometimes that's your only option financially speaking.
Yeah, I have a friend who recently got a PC built, and I had to sit there for a little bit having the awkward conversation of this is how much a graphics card costs sometimes, but 6 months from now it's going to go down and then it's going to go back up, and crypto market's weird and ruins everything. And he's like, that's a lot to think about for just buying a thing. And I'm like, yeah, it's really
Yep.
stupid, but
Yep.
when
But
you're in
Nvidia,
when you're shopping,
but capitalism isn't based on empathy. It's based on Nvidia wanting to make as much money as possible. So they saw their cards selling for thousands of dollars and were like, I want a slice of that pie. So they just priced them at thousands of dollars instead of letting the scalpers get them. Because capitalism's not based on empathy.
just a second.
So Naramdaput says, "What is the cat sitting on? It doesn't look like the bottom of the case." No, it's on a power supply shroud. So like you can see, its back legs are kind of like on a cutout that's there for like the fans and the radiator or whatever. So like his back legs are a little bit lower than its front. So it's a shroud to kind of hide all your cables behind.
I have one of those that I try my best to ignore on the side of my PC. It's more of a thing where all the cables get stuffed and I have to ram it down and close.
Yeah, so I was one of the things that one of the things that I did when my wife died and I got the life insurance payout was I was like, okay, I'm gonna splurge a little bit and treat myself to something, but I'm I'm too Scottish to not be frugal, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna treat myself to something that I don't really need. But it was like I can't justify like buying a whole new PC because mine's fine. It works fine. I'm happy with it. So I just got a new case and a bunch of fancy fans for it, which like it's all overpriced and I don't actually need it, but like it looks nice and it's not as much as a new PC. But like the power supply is in a completely separate compartment behind it, and everything looks really nice in the area that you can see. But like if you take off the back panel, you can see that
awful.
I like, and this is a great case for cable management, but I love building PCs, but by the time it gets to the cable management stage, I'm just like, nope, I just want it to turn on now. Shove those cables in there, shut the thing. If it shuts, it's good.
Yeah, it'll look pretty. If somebody, dude, I don't want to turn on my camera and actually show what the cables behind my
Yeah.
PC look like.
Oh,
It's
no,
a mess.
I'm not going to do that. But like, if I ever have to do maintenance on this thing or like rerun a cable somewhere, it's going to be a nightmare. But like, I don't do that very often, so it's fine. Scott Dillahunt says I've done that with telecom closets. You're the devil, Scott. That's the worst. Like I've seen those telecom closets.
It's like, and this is the server room, everybody. No, we're not going behind the server rack. Don't ask why. Keep going, everyone.
Oh, Blade Runner says I've built all my PCs for the past 20 years and I'm colorblind, so that makes motherboard wiring fun. So yeah, most of, like the things like the main power for the motherboard and the power for the CPU and stuff like that, like that's all keyed plugs that you can't plug the wrong one in. Although, well, hasn't always been that way. I did fry a CPU once when I was working at a computer repair shop because I plugged the wrong cable into the CPU power socket. And as soon as I flipped the power supply on, immediately we got black smoke rising from the motherboard. I'm like, whoopsies. But barring something stupid like that, because this was one of those cases where it's like, if I'd have taken a second to look at the cable, it was obvious that it was the wrong one. Whatever. But yeah, they're like the color coded things, or like the things like the LED, like the front panel connectors and the power button and the LED stuff and whatever, like that could get annoying in a hurry, I'd imagine.
The red cable and the green cable.
I don't understand why.
Cable?
So all the motherboards have like the power button, the hard drive activity light, which we still have on cases for some reason, even though nobody has hard drives anymore. Okay, everybody still has hard drives, but like you don't need a flashing light to tell you when it's going. You can hear the bloody thing.
Like, I have a hard drive for long-term storage because there's more rewrites available on hard drives.
Okay, so this is my hard drive, which is my data hard drive, which I pulled out of my computer when I got the attack email that like caused me to like shut down my computer immediately. And I haven't plugged it back in yet because there's not really anything on it that I terribly need, and I don't know, like, I mean, it's probably fine based on what I know about that particular attack vector, but it also might not be, so I'd rather just not, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Like, whatever. Oh, weird questions. Microsoft Certified still a thing? It's still a thing, but like it's very specific. You don't need it for most jobs. All right, Joe Lampton says, men that wear glasses are dorks. I'd rather not see than wear them. Glasses equals nerd who reads too many books and was bullied as a kid. Simple reality.
What?
Okay, so first
his
off,
at is Mr. Lottahose.
I didn't even see that.
Oh my god. This man is compensating so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, look, this is bitchless behavior. This man, no bitches. Not a one.
I don't know. My partner picked out the glasses that I'm wearing now. Like if it was up to me, I would have like just grabbed the first ones that fit on my face and be like, okay, here we go. Now I did actually veto one. She wanted a pair that was like $250 just for the frames, and they made me look like a complete dork. But she really liked them, but like, and like it was like they were kind of the round, almost steampunkish kind of look ones, and I kind of liked them too. But there was something about them that made it look like my eyes were too close together, and so I vetoed those ones. But like these are the ones that she went with.
Like this Joe Lambton person can go jump off a cliff because hopefully a small cliff, like one of the Pokemon ones you can't walk back
Here's
on.
the thing. I can see fine without my glasses. Like, it's just my left eye, it's a little bit blurry. I mean, it's blurrier now than it was when I first got glasses because, you know, age is a thing. My right eye is still fine. But, like...
I'm just going to go ahead and say, Joe Lambton, Mr. Lotta Hose, glasses are hot. Bite me.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing I never understood as a kid in those stupid movies where, like, they have the woman who does the makeover and she just takes her glasses off and lets her ponytail down. It's like,
suddenly she's quote more attractive.
It's like, no, I like the hot librarian look. My partner, when she puts her glasses on, whew, boy, that's fucking hot. And she thinks the same thing about me, I think.
You think?
I think.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
She might be attracted to me. I don't know. Well,
maybe you should ask the professional opinion of Mr. Lotta Hose.
Well, I mean, Ocean Waves is my partner, and there she is saying nerd with a drooly face, so... like, I mean, the person who I sleep with is happy with my glasses, so I don't care what Mr. Lotta Hose thinks.
It's just one of those things, like, as a kid, I guess it is the Superman thing. We're just like... He's got the glasses on that he takes them off and suddenly, effect. Now he's Superman. Oh, hi, Kitsune Cavalier.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's exactly what they were saying. Yeah, no, actually, Christopher Reeves, great actor. If you watch the scene where I forget which one it was, but when they're in Niagara Falls, and he like takes his glasses off and stands up straight and he's like, Lois, I have something I want to tell you. And then he changes his mind, puts them back on, and turns back into a dork or whatever. It's like, he was really good at like having just a completely different physicality about himself when he was Superman versus Clark Kent. Like, I still don't think just glasses is enough to like make people not realize that it's Clark Kent.
Yeah,
but like Christopher Reeves was really good at that.
What's funny is like in the Superman animated series, I don't think they ever made Clark Kent have a significantly different posture to Superman himself.
No, and I think too, like the new adventures of Lois and Clark, Dean Cain, not a good enough actor to pull that off. He was just the same guy both times. Like if that's what you grew up on and that's how you know Superman, of course the glasses are a stupid thing. But like you go back to the Christopher Reeve movies and it's like I could actually see how people could be fooled by that because he's got a completely different demeanor. Whereas like Dean Cain, no, it's the same guy because he's not a good actor. Anyway, speaking of not good actors, Kevin Sorbo.
God, why? Every week. Every week. Every week.
Okay, you know what? I'm proud of that one because I wasn't actually sure if Kevin Sorbo was next. But that worked out really well. But I love it. He says the left rigged the 2016 election and still lost. That's not what rigged means. Like, if you rig something, you can't lose. Like, that's kind of definitionally. They could have cheated in the 2016 election. But, like, if they lost, that means they didn't rig it. But also, they didn't rig the 2016 election.
This is like the fucking Elon Musk thing that's been happening recently where they're like, hey, we suppressed a bunch of tweets in Turkey because we're worried that they might interfere with the election. And like, wait, have we really diluted election interference as a term down to some people said some stuff on Twitter? Really?
I mean, yeah, that was a lot of the Russian interference in the 2020 election was people saying stuff on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, you got me there.
So
you got me there.
Yeah, no, like if Elon Musk actually did something responsible, I'm surprised, but I'm not upset. So Kitsune Cavalier says, next time Vice Rhino doesn't have a Kevin Sorbo tweet or doesn't have a Suris guest, I'd be disappointed. I love like his story for that was that like, oh, I did it as a joke and they decided to keep it in. Whereas like canonically, he just read the stage direction.
couldn't he just own the fact that sometimes as an actor you do cringy things and that's okay?
No, because he's not a strong man like we discussed earlier.
Oh my
He's
God.
a weak man who must be seen as correct all the time.
Like,
Like,
I
I've
just
done stupid shit, and I own that.
dude, I'm
Suris,
yeah.
the stupidest thing I've ever done. I once got into an argument with someone on Twitter about the meaning of the Dunning-Kruger effect, and
And it
then
was the person who it was named after.
it was Jason or John or whatever, Mr. Dunning, Dr. Dunning. I didn't realize till like most of the way through the argument, they're like, oh, this guy's last name is Dunning. Maybe I should look into that. Oh, I just argued with the Dunning-Kruger, the Dunning of the Dunning-Kruger effect about the meaning of the Dunning-Kruger effect. It doesn't get more fucking ironic than that. I will own that shit. I think that's fucking hilarious.
I don't know if I don't have one that's worse or more embarrassing. I don't think anyway. Not that comes to mind immediately.
See, that's the thing is like it. You might think it's embarrassing, and yeah, it is a little bit embarrassing. But I actually think it's really funny. It's kind of
a wonderful
learning
bar
moment.
story. I think for me it's my chat forcing me into the Sonic onesie. And me having to do an entire stream in a Sonic onesie.
Have you done that yet?
Yes, I have.
Awesome.
There's not only an entire like conglomerate of pictures of it on Twitter, but there's a bunch of fan art that happened as a result of it as well. And
Nice.
some of it's flattering and some of it ain't. Shaw says it was stupid hot. Yeah, Georgia Heat is not fun in a fucking onesie.
So we get this is Casey. I just picked the first one I saw about this because Lauren Boebert's tweet about her divorce wasn't very funny. But Lauren Boebert's getting a divorce. So it seems like the party of family values has a higher divorce rate than the party that they say does not have family values, which is weird. I mean, it's not weird if you actually look at the values and you realize that they don't have family values.
Let's see. Lauren Boeber wants privacy as she divorces her husband, Jason Boeber, the same person who's been condemning progressives for our absence of family values.
Yeah, I don't necessarily endorse the do your worst Twitter message of this tweet. I don't condemn that message either because like it's fucking Lauren Boebert. Who cares? She deserves to feel bad about herself.
If bad things happen to bad people, I shrug.
Like, I'm not going to encourage you to do bad things to Lauren Boebert, but like she shouldn't feel good about herself because she's a shit person. But yeah, also her husband is Jason spelled with a Y. Fuck you. Just spell it normally.
It's as pretentious as people who spell color with a U.
Fuck off. Color's supposed to have the U.
Yeah, and Z's not supposed to have a D in it.
You mean Z?
Fucking...
Z? It's Z.
No, I mean Z.
There's too many letters of the alphabet that end that way already. It's easier to tell what you're saying if you say Z.
Ah, yeah. I remember a bed.
So fun fact, my partner's kids, when they wash their hands, I will sing the alphabet with them to make sure they're washing long enough or whatever, and that's kind of become a thing. There have actually been moments where they've been like, I can't wash my hands because I need someone to, like, I can't sing the alphabet by myself, someone has to sing it with me. Okay, I'll come up and sing the alphabet with you. And that was actually like a moment with them, is that they would say Z and I'd be like, Z, what is that? You live in Canada, it's Z. And so now they will like look at me with this oh, are you gonna say Z? Are you gonna say Z? Kind of look when it gets there, and like they'll stop singing and wait for me to say Z. And it's really cute.
I think we should put this entire fucking argument to Z.
Hey, I will sit in my lay Z boy recliner and just take a nap.
Color me shocked then. We took the U out of flavor because the flavor's for me, damn it.
Okay, sure, why not? Natural theist. Argument from beauty. Premise 1. If beauty exists, then it is intended to produce an admiration.
What?
Why okay, if beauty exists, why is there an intent there? Why can it not just be like if like beauty is subjective, it's on the receiving end. If I consider something to be beautiful, that doesn't mean that that thing was intended to make me think that.
It just
means that I think that.
There are people that are far too into cosmic horror, and the things they find beautiful and the things I find beautiful might differ a little bit.
Yeah. Beauty is completely subjective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And beholders
Yeah,
are really badass
and
bad
that
guys in
eye,
Dungeons
and
and
that
Dragons.
eye, and that eye over there as well.
Yeah. And then premise two is if something is intended to produce admiration, it was previously conceived in the mind. Okay, but I don't grant that it was intended to produce admiration. Like, it could just be that minds that evolved in a specific place evolved to find specific things about the place that they evolved in beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. So, like, there are different aspects to beauty. There's familiarity. So, like, go on a long road trip sometime, and then when you come back home, that mall that you pass on the way home suddenly is aesthetically pleasing to you, not because it actually is aesthetically pleasing, just because you've been away for a long time and this reminds you of home. It feels comfortable. It feels nice to see it again.
It's like seeing old crunchy N64 graphics. It's not that they look particularly good. It's that I grew up with them and they're nice and comfy.
Yeah.
They're really, really comfy.
So that is entirely subjective. Like, someone that is not from the Niagara region will not feel the same sense of comfort when they drive past the Niagara Square, which doesn't really exist anymore. They kind of demolished half of it, and then because like malls aren't really a thing anymore. But like, you know what I mean? Like, the landmarks that I recognize when I come home from a long trip don't spark the same sense of comfort in someone that's not from the Niagara region as they do in me, because beauty is subjective. And like when I see Niagara Falls, I think, "Oh, I'm close to home. This is nice." When other people see Niagara Falls, they think, "Oh, this is one of the wonders of the world. I've never seen it before. It's nice." Like, that's completely different, and it's very subjective. So, like, no, I don't believe that beauty is intended to produce admiration. That's just a product of what, like, either what we're familiar with, or it's evolutionarily what makes a good mate.
Yep.
And then conclusion is, therefore, if beauty exists, then it was previously conceived in the mind. It's like, no. No, it isn't. But anyway, someone retweeted this, pointing out that beauty is subjective, and then we got Capturing Christianity saying,
Hi, Cameron.
What's your argument that beauty is not objective?
The entirety of the human experience.
But like, that's his whole fucking shtick. Like, come on, man. Like, his tagline is exposing the intellectual side of Christianity. Like, is this intellectual? Is it not just an accepted fact of life that beauty is subjective? Different people find different things attractive. Some people like to see their partner dressed up all in leather. Some people think leather is not comfortable, and like they empathize too much with that, and they don't want to see their partner dressed up all in leather.
Glasses are hot, and some people are.
Some people think glasses are hot, and some people think glasses mean they read too many books. Which,
Mr. Lotta Hose.
Yeah, like, beauty is entirely subjective. That's like a basic fact of humanity. Like, I mean,
Cameron,
the most beautiful aspect of my partner is the way she makes me feel. That's subjective. She doesn't make everybody feel that way. I might get jealous if she did.
Well, I guess it depends. I wonder what...
I mean, there's a receptionist right now that she wants to punch in the face. She definitely doesn't make her feel that way. But in her defense, that receptionist is a condescending bitch.
Fair. Fair.
Like, I heard part of the conversation, like, I kind of want to punch that obviously old lady in the face. I should not punch an old lady in the face, but I want to.
Like, I have a question, ma'am. How old are you? You should never ask a lady their age. Well, ladies doing a lot of work in this conversation. How old are you? 65. Well, when I'm done with you, you're going to feel 85, so please shut up.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting into that. That's not my story to tell, so I'm not going to share it.
Fair enough.
Frank Turek. I love that.
So, I'm less bothered by Turek than I am K-Sorbs. It's fine.
So, okay. I don't know. This one just kind of tickled me. It says, what is your favorite book authored by Frank Turek and why?
This feels like something he wrote on a secondary. He tried to write on a
Well, like
secondary account.
obviously this is just like he has someone else write his tweets for him. But what I pictured when I saw this was like the Simpsons portrayal of Bob Dole, where Bob Dole always refers to himself as Bob Dole in the third person.
Mm.
And I don't know, it just tickled me and I liked it. And it was funny. But anyway, I haven't read any Frank Turek books. Maybe I should, because you know what, my Pastor Dickey book series is actually doing really well. Like normally, when you do a series, the subsequent videos in the series always do worse than the previous ones.
Mm.
But my Pastor Dickey series, people love it. Like every video is like I'll release a Pastor Dickey video, it's number 1. Then I release a like normal response video, it's like number 8. And then I do my next Pastor Dickey video, and it's number 1. It even passed the last one. So it's like, maybe the Rhino Book Club is the thing that I should do now.
Your Pastor Big Dicky video.
Like his name is Bob Dickey, and I love it. It's just such a silly name. But anyway, that's it for tweets. All right. Well, it's 10:02, so we actually managed to get through that in a timely fashion.
We did it on time, finally.
Sort of.
Sorbo
of?
That's where I was going, but
I
now you
figured
stretched it a bit further.
Geese tongues.
Get out of my life.
Demons. They are demons from the deep. They were invented by Cthulhu.
I feel like I have a question. Have you actually read any of the Cthulhu mythos, like the actual books themselves?
I've not, no.
If you ever get a chance, please start with Mountains of Madness. It is by far the best one I have read out of all of it.
I think I have a few Audible credits. So right now I don't know if I'm supposed to say this publicly, but I have been officially invited to guest on God Awful Movies. Our record is scheduled for the end of June. So it'd be like end of June, early July. I'll be on an episode in there somewhere, unless they get me for a get ahead episode, in which case they'll like keep me until one of them needs a vacation. I don't know. Anyway, what I was going with that is I'm kind of like listening to old episodes right now, so I can like make jokes about their running jokes, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And I don't remember where this was going. What started that conversation?
I mean, I was talking about the Cthulhu mythos. By the way, instead of getting an individual book of the Cthulhu mythos, just get the compendium on Audible that has everything. That way you spend 1 credit and get all of the books.
Yeah, okay, so that was probably going on. Like I'm listening to all their back catalog so I can like make jokes about their inside jokes. And so I don't have time for audiobooks right now. That's probably where I was going with that. Anyway,
Maybe.
That's me announcing that I'm going to be on GAM.
There you go.
And
you did it.
What's really funny though, like so Eli invited me on more than a year ago. Like he officially was like I met him at the Toronto live show for God Awful Movies, and he was like, yeah, I want to have you on as a guest. I'm like, okay, great. That's going to be amazing. I'm going to love it. And now it's more than a year later. And it's like, Eli, you said like a year ago you wanted me on as a guest. Is that still a thing? It's like, yeah, it's totally a thing. Okay. Can we just like schedule it? But like, I get it. Like,
there's 1,000 things that are happening.
I know how difficult it is to schedule people. That's why you're my regular guest for this show now, is because that it just worked out in both our schedules that you're already streaming here, so it's fine. Because like asking people and trying to coordinate schedules and stuff it's a nightmare, and I hate it. So like,
yeah,
I understand why it's taken this long.
I understand. I was like the 6th or 7th pick down the line. I'm here for convenience. I get it.
Were you? No, you weren't the 6th or 7th.
I was much further back than that.
Nah, man. I only have like 4 people that I'm comfortable talking to regularly enough to do this. So, okay, fun story. My kids are doing track and field recently because the weather's getting nicer, so it's track and field season. I go to watch two of them at their school, and like it's just like you watch them race for like 2 seconds, and then you sit around waiting for an hour for the next event. And one of my son's friends, cute kid, my son loves them. They get along great. They're great friends, and it's adorable. But like, he comes up to me, and he's met me once at like my son's birthday party. He's like, "Oh, hey, you gotta come and like talk to my dad." I'm like, "I don't want to talk to your dad. I just want to like sit on the sidelines and listen to a podcast or something. Like, why don't? Okay, fine. You're a kid. I'll humor you. Fine. You take me to your dad." And like he takes me to his dad. Is like his dad is in this friend group that like he has with all these other people, and I'm like, I am socially awkward. Why? Like I can't like bust into a group of people that are in the middle of a conversation. Like, but this kid wants me to talk to his dad, and it's like, no, I don't know. Thankfully, the kid like got distracted and ran off before I had to like introduce myself. So I was able to like,
you were saved by
then just
circumstance.
like, yeah, I was able to just then like turn around and be like, okay, he's gone, so I don't have to talk to his dad anymore. Bye.
You know what that means, right?
What's that?
You'll have to do it in a week.
No, I don't, because I don't go to school things. Like he's going to my son advanced and like he did well enough in the 100-meter dash that he's going on to like the finals at Brock University or something. And so that I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to that. We'll see. I don't know. Probably not. I feel like that's a big time commitment for me, just to like watch him run for a few seconds. But I don't know. I didn't have to talk to my son's friend's dad, is the point of that story.
You should do therapy about that.
I had to do therapy about hiring someone to put data in a spreadsheet for me.
Yeah?
I'm not well. I would not qualify for transgender care under what was it, Tennessee? Missouri. I would not.
Missouri law.
They would not like me because I have not resolved all those other mental issues.
Well, now we can't get trans rhino. Dang.
All right, so that's it for this show.